Baby, I just received a letter about you that shook my world, and I swear my hands are still trembling as I hold it. I didn't expect this. Not today, not like this, and the words inside, they cut deep. Yet they also opened the door I never thought I'd have the courage to face. The envelope was plain. No name, no return address, just silence on the outside. But when I opened it, every line inside carried your name without even saying it. Someone wrote about you, someone who knows more than I ever imagined, and they told me things that made my heart race, my chest tighten, and my mind spiral with questions I can't shake off. They said, "You've been keeping something from me, something that could change everything." And for a moment, I felt the ground slip beneath me. But then, right there in the middle of the letter, there was a sentence that lit a fire inside me. It said, "If you really love her, you'll fight for the truth instead of running from it." And baby, that's exactly what I'm doing now. I can't pretend these words didn't shake me. I can't deny that my trust felt tested. But at the same time, I feel like this letter wasn't written to break us. It was written to test us, to see if we're strong enough to face whispers, secrets, and shadows, and still stand together. I don't know who sent it. I don't know why they chose this moment. But I do know one thing. Whoever wrote it underestimated the bond I have with you. They thought a few lines on paper could make me doubt you. But all it did was remind me how badly I want to protect what we have. Still, I can't lie. Baby, my heart is restless. The questions keep circling in my mind, like storms that won't settle. What are they trying to warn me about? And most of all, why does it feel like this letter is only the beginning of something bigger? I keep rereading the last line, over and over. Don't let her slip away before you know the whole story. Those words haunt me. They pull me closer to you, even when fear tries to push me back. And now, every moment apart feels heavier. Every silence feels loaded with secrets I need to uncover. Baby, I need you to tell me everything. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now, because I can't stand the thought of someone else knowing more about you than I do. I want the truth, even if it shakes me more than this letter ever could. But here's what I know deep inside. Whatever this truth is, whatever shadow this letter tried to cast over us, I'm not letting it destroy us. No letter, no stranger, no words on paper can erase what I feel when I look at you. And maybe, just maybe, the real reason this letter found me today was to make me hold you tighter than ever before. And baby, as much as this letter shook my world, you are still the center of it. And I'm not letting go. When I folded that paper back into the envelope, my mind would not stop. Every sentence felt like a small earthquake under my feet. The letter spoke of a night, a place, a promise made in secret, long before I knew you. It sketched a picture I never saw, and now I cannot unsee it. There was a detail that froze me. A year and a street I barely remember hearing in passing. The writer described a quiet cafe, where two people once sat, a song that played in the background, and a small silver charm that was lost that night. My hands trembled because I recognized the song, and the charm sounded like something you once mentioned in passing. One sleepy morning. How could that be? How could a stranger put those pieces together so exactly? My first thought was confusion. My second was protection. I walked straight to the place where you keep your small things and looked for anything that might explain it. I found a paper receipt folded inside a book you keep by the bed, a receipt from that very cafe on a date you never told me about. The paper matched the letter's clues, and my breath left me. What was that night? Who was there, and why was I the last to hear about it? Here's the pull I can't ignore. The letter hinted at an old promise that was never kept. It said someone once told a secret and then left before the truth could be told. That line cut me deeper than any direct accusation, because it suggested something unfinished, where you should have had closure, not mystery. I sat with that idea until the room blurred. I wanted to confront without making you feel trapped. So I practiced a calm voice in my head, words that would invite honesty without pressure. But the letter made that plan hard to start. Every calm line I wanted to say turned into a question in my throat. Who else knows this? What did you know then? And what did you keep now? Then I found a small photograph, tucked in a drawer, a picture of a place, with the background the letter described. It wasn't meant to be secret, maybe, but it was a clue that the writer used and expected me to see. The photo showed a wrist with a thin bracelet, the same charm hinted at in the letter, and a hand reaching for a paper cup. My heart worked too fast. Why was that charm there before we met? Why did the letter make me think of a torn promise? The letter mentioned a name that never appeared on the page. It used a phrase that only someone close to you would know, a small joke you once told me about the rain. The writer knew private things. Either they are very brave or very dangerous. Both possibilities felt heavy. I decided to follow the paper trail slowly. I walked back to the cafe alone and asked the person behind the counter if they remembered a table by the window, an old song, a silver charm. They paused, then smiled the way people do when a memory is soft and dusty. They told me about a customer who used to sit there years ago, who left without paying once and returned months later with an apology and a small gift. The person's voice made the story feel real and close, like a secret shared through the walls. That answer pulled me forward and pushed me to look harder. A neighbor I spoke to mentioned seeing someone leave a small box on the stairs late one night. No one saw who placed it there. The neighbor thought it was a gift and left it by the door. The box had a note inside with half a sentence, the kind the letter completed. That same half sentence appears in the letter I read. Suddenly it felt like a puzzle, with pieces scattered in different hands. Who is putting them back together now? I keep thinking of the tone of the letter. It was neither angry nor kind. It sounded like someone who wanted me to act, not to panic. That made me wonder if the writer wanted me to find the truth so we could fix something, or if they wanted to watch us fall apart. The not knowing pushed me to plan my next step carefully. I could not let emotion lead me into a mistake I would regret. There is another pull. The letter mentioned someone who watched from the edge, someone who warned instead of stepping in. That line made me imagine a person who has watched pieces of your life when you thought no one was looking. It felt like a half-light, where danger and care meet, and I could not tell which side it stood on. That uncertainty swallowed hours of my day. I wanted to protect you, but I also needed to know whether you needed protecting from the past or from someone in the present trying to change it. So I started keeping small notes of what I found, dates, places. I kept them safe in a drawer so I could bring them to you without turning into an interrogation. I wanted the truth to be ours to hold together, not something dropped like a landmine in our path. The letter said there was one more thing to find, one small object hidden, where old promises sleep. It described it as a round thing that remembers sunlight. I searched the places where small things hide, pockets of old coats, the bottom of a jar, the lining of an old bag. In the lining of a jacket from years ago, I found a thread of fabric tied around a coin that had a tiny scratch like a half heart. It matched the letter's hint enough to make my fingers shake. Was this the thing meant to be found, or was it bait? I kept my voice steady when I finally sat down with you. I told you I had something to ask, not to accuse. I showed you the photograph, the receipt, the coin with the scratch. I watched your face the whole time, searching for the smallest crack of surprise, guilt, or relief. Your eyes moved like waves, slow, then quick, then wide with emotion. I waited for your answer, like someone waiting for a light to turn green. You began to speak in pieces, small truths that fit together like cautious steps. You told me about a time you thought you could fix a broken thing from your past, and how you kept it quiet because you were afraid of causing pain. You did not give me the whole story at once. You offered me a door with a lock I had to choose to open slowly. That slow offering made me both grateful and restless. The letter hinted at a person who promised to return and never came back. That promise sounded like a hole that had been left open in your history. You spoke of waiting, of trying to move on, of a small regret that slept in the corners. Those words moved me, because they showed a part of you I had not seen before, quiet hope mixed with old sorrow. I wanted to soothe it, but I also wanted to know everything. When you told me that a secret had kept you from speaking, a new feeling rose in me, protection mixed with the fear of being left behind later. I reached for your hand and felt it shake the same way mine had when I read the letter. We agreed to look for the rest together, but I could see the fear that the past still had weight to pull us apart. That fear became my next fuel. There was a new clue we almost missed. A line in the letter about a name scratched on the back of a bench at a park we once walked in. We went at dusk and found the bench still there. The scratch was faint, like the letter